Hello, everybody. Come on in here and let's have a little conversation. Valentine's Day is right around the corner, so we're gonna. I have a guest. Her name is Brooke, as you can see. Yeah. We're both single. We're both Christians, and we're just gonna have a
You gotta put my business out there like that, though. You
well,
ain't gotta put it all.
that's the prerequisite to be on this show. You got to be single and a Christian. So So anyway, we had a conversation the other day about women when they get in relationships and how they accept things from guys. I call it a build a bear uh, experience, where you see a guy and because he seems to be nice to you, then you immediately go into, okay, how can I change him? How can I make him better? You know, when you go to the Build a Bear store, my son received one years ago. I had never heard of it, and he received one for a gift. You can add the shirt, you can put the shoes. There's certain things you can add to it, but there's a couple of things you ain't gonna be able to add to a Build a Bear because we all adults. You ain't gonna be the add the bottom part. That's gonna make it satisfy you if that's your husband. That eggplant little thing that y'all use. You ain't gonna be able to add that, and you won't be able to add nothing on the inside. That's what you want, something on the inside. So, ladies, if the guy ain't got a job and he ain't dressed like you want him dressed, but he's nice and he's a Christian, come on, ask God to pray for him. Ask God to do it. But don't be going to try to spend your doggone money to go fix nobody up and he ain't right. I mean, come on, Sister Brooke, what you gonna tell me?
What are you saying exactly? Well, you lost me with the eggplant because I'm like, are you telling us that we
Yeah, because
still?
some people I heard, well, I'm just saying, I heard some women say that they ain't marry nobody if they ain't trying it out.
Oh,
So
okay. So you
I'm
saying don't do that because I was like,
Yeah,
wait,
I'm
what's wrong with the
no,
eggplant?
no. See, and what I'm saying is, even if you try to build a bed, you can put on the clothes, you can do all that stuff, but you can't fix the inside up. You can't do that. That's got to be something he has to do or he wants to do. And then the bottom part, you don't know what you're getting. If you're trying to do it right, what the Bible say, flee fornication, don't commit fornication, all that good stuff it says, God means it. It ain't got nothing to do with society changing and how you got to this, that, or the other. Because if you in your word and you really hearing from God, it's gonna be the perfect fit. It's gonna feel good. So ladies, don't get caught up into the hype of trying something.
Literally,
You might try it and get something before you get there. So
yeah,
don't
like
play with it, and also the Bible tell you don't be unequally yoked. So we got to make sure that the inside, his spiritual part, his walk with the Lord there, and he has fruits of the spirit to match yours. But then sometimes y'all ain't even right, and you want somebody to be all this and you ain't there. But Brooke, how you feel about that?
you said a whole lot. Okay, there's a whole lot that you just because on one hand you're like, don't build a bear is an external thing. Don't try to dress them up. But
Right.
then also I feel like build a bear, we make that into we're gonna be your psychologist, your psychiatrist, and all that, and help you work out your trauma when really that's above our pay grade. And even if we do that for our business, like if that's our profession, we still don't need to be the people we're helping them work through. So I agree, like we shouldn't be over here. They call it also missionary dating sometimes, where you're trying to save the person
Oh yeah, that
dating them, and it's like that don't work. They got to have that own. There has to be there's something they come to you can help. You
right. Especially as Christian
can't,
women.
you can't date them with the hopes of trying to save them in the process. That has to be something that they're doing by themselves. That you're usher. I think. Let me put this. At least I think that should be how it is, or that should be the way it is.
Yeah.
Um, because otherwise, what if they don't change? You can't
And
get mad at them because that's how they are, and you accepted them that way
well, Maya Angelou said it best. When people show you who they are, believe them.
the first time. Okay,
Right, right.
because sometimes we see things and we're like, well, you didn't mean that. So I agree. It's like especially at our age,
I
because
know that's
you
right.
older than me, and I ain't that young. I may look young,
Well,
but
I ain't sure to say my age. I'm 58. 58. And
yeah, well, I'll be 40 this year, and so I'm just like at this age, I definitely don't want to have to like when you're young and you're early 20s, you are building together,
right.
hopefully. So that's different. But when you're older, you should be more established. Some things should be established. You should be more established in who you are, where you're going. Even if you're not there, you should have a clearer picture of what you want. So if you're meeting a man who's still struggling at some basic things, again, not that he's all the way where he's supposed to be. Like my dad started law school at 43, And that's really, so I understand that there are people, you have an understanding where you want to go, but you shouldn't be questioning some basic things. You should have some stability,
Right.
financial or otherwise in your life at this age. I'm not trying to build, um,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make you into something that you haven't even been trying to make yourself into at this point.
Yeah, I'm gonna help you get a house. I'm gonna help you get a car. I'm gonna help you build your credit, your license spin. I'm gonna help you get your license straight. No, player, that's something you need to be able to do. Because how you gonna provide for me, and you're gonna be a leader of, you're gonna be the leader in our house, and I'm coming to you, and you ain't got your junk together, but I got mine together.
Right.
Mm-mm.
It's not gonna work. And I remember there was a woman in a church I went to. She kind of did that with this guy. They seemed imbalanced anyway, and she helped put him through school, build him up, and then they got married and they were divorced shortly thereafter. And
Yeah,
I don't know if he used her, but it definitely it appeared that way. I
yeah,
can't say because I didn't ask the man, but it definitely gave the appearance that he used her as a stepping stone and then went with somebody else that he wanted to be with. And that's another risk that you run when you're trying to build somebody up. If they don't
mhm.
want it for themselves, then you can't give it to them.
Yeah.
No,
You can give it to them, but it won't be genuine. It won't be real.
right. You know what I'm saying?
They're just doing that. They're manipulating you to get what they want from you.
Right. So definitely want to be supportive because I don't want to come off as don't support the person that you're with. You want to be supportive because, like I said, my dad started law school at 43. That was a dream of his. And it took much later than me. I came right out of college going to law school. Some people have the different timelines, but so you want to be supportive of someone's dreams. But there's a difference between being supportive of dreams and mothering and babying people who just need to grow up.
They already got a mama. And
Right.
even if they ain't close to their mama, then that's a whole different issue because if their relationship is kind of severed or there's some issues, then they need therapy. They need somebody to help them work it through. But I ain't the one.
Right.
So when we meet up at my age, oh no, bro, you need to have everything together. You need to have a job. You need to make sure that you got your place to stay. Um, and there are some extenuating circumstances. People go through stuff at a later life, and things happen. They lose a spouse, or they get
Like
a
a
divorce.
financial hit that was unexpected. I understand that. But
Those
this thing, if you just
understand. But if you have a conversation and you listen, because you got two ears, you listen more than you talk, then you'll pick up whether that person is motivated to get it. Because if you lose a job, there's no reason you shouldn't have another job within, I'll say a few months. Because I know sometimes the industry out there is a little tough, especially for me, for Black men, for people, period. But I'm just saying, from my experiences being with Black men, because I have a friend that lost his job, and he said he's still going through some things now, trying to get a job. He's doing consultations and stuff like that because he has a plethora of
he's working, right? So it's not like he's just sitting at home waiting for somebody to take care of him. He's actually trying to put in some effort to get a job.
put his resumes out.
And that's the difference. When we say build a bear, it's like I can support you if you're struggling, you hustling, trying to make it work, but I'm not going to take care of you while you sit at home and you're on the couch doing nothing to add to.
Absolutely.
I can't help you. Again, not at this big age.
I know that's right.
There's a difference when you're younger, but now it's like, okay, that phase should be gone. You got to know how to strategize and keep it moving. I think, I'm not trying.
I do too. And the thing that you said something earlier about somebody having a relationship like then the guy left. But then, sometimes, and I ain't gonna say sometimes, well, sometimes, yes, women get tired of that too. They get tired of it because the very thing they wanted, they thought they wanted, they despise it later. Because the guy's trying to do everything to get you because he's using you, but then that same thing get on your nerve later because like, darn, you just such a wimp. You know what I'm saying? So you despise it, but they doing that because they want to make you happy to get what they want. So sometimes they beat them to the punch and they gone. So you just never know which way it's going to go. But at either point, like you said, for our age, we shouldn't be doing it, period.
Big. I just wonder why people don't do it. Why do they decide to take on these projects? That's the thing. I don't want a project.
They're lonely,
But
and
that's more work.
society is saying that you need to be with somebody or something's wrong with you. They ain't nothing got to be wrong with me, girl. Do you see this? Ain't nothing wrong with me. It's just that it's the guys out there think everybody want them. A lot of times I've seen that. And they wait till they get sick and then they want somebody to come and take care of them. And women
This
love to do that because we're nurturers by nature.
famous preacher who did that recently.
Well, I ain't calling no names, but I know who you're talking about. That's to me, that's wrong. First of all, that's wrong. I think if you see somebody that you like, go ahead and pursue them. But make sure they're whole, just like you should be whole. There's some things that I'm still working on. I ain't where I used to be, but I ain't where I want to be. But you know what? Perfection doesn't come until our life is ended. We have to reach for that perfection to be the best version of ourselves that we can be. And in the midst of that, somebody will come along and compliment us. But we ain't gotta. I ain't gonna do it. I ain't taking care of nobody, and I'm not. And but back to the build a bear part of.
No, I was gonna say I know people feel lonely and feel like something wrong with them, but I just when you get in there, you realize the stress of it is not worth it. Like to
Right.
you're taking on a burden, so there's no benefit except maybe down there. There's an occasional benefit, but that grows old quickly, I would imagine, with the stress added on.
Yes.
It's just like, why don't, there are worse things than being alone. There are worse things than being single and then taking on
That is
projects.
true.
That
That
taking on projects just seem like, I don't
But it
understand.
makes you feel like you're valuable, that you're doing something to help somebody else out. And I know the Bible say, love your neighbor as yourself. So that means, I'm doing something, I'm helping this person out. And I get it. You should be doing that, period. It don't matter whether you're in a romantic relationship or you're just in a platonic relationship with a friend, a female or whatever, where you're trying to help her out, or somebody that you know in the community that needs help, a male. It doesn't matter. You need to make sure you're doing it for the right reason first and foremost. So if you're lonely, there's something going on with you. I'm not saying you ain't gonna have moments, but if you worked on yourself enough to realize the value you bring to the table and what God has said you are, then you're comfortable being by yourself and going places. Doesn't mean you want to, but you're comfortable because I can travel by myself. I can go out to eat by myself. I can go to the movies by myself, and y'all can call it whatever you want to on social media. I don't give a doggone.
I was
Because
at the movies on
guess what?
Friday.
Huh?
I said I was at the movies on Friday. Went to see
I was
Origin.
by myself last week too. I
Mhm.
don't need nobody to take me there, but it would be good to have somebody accompany me. But
Right,
I'm not going to pay for everything, and I'm not going to do for this guy to fix him up. He ain't got no job, but he nice to me, so I'm gonna pay for this. No, we're going Dutch if that's the way it's going to be until we're in a relationship, and then I got you. Because here's the thing that I think a lot of people don't. If you building a bear or you building a man, however you want to say it,
right.
then
You
you
met
got to
there
continue.
today.
How you start a relationship is how you got to continue to do it. But
Right,
if something happened to you, then that man is gone.
right, right.
And so you don't want that to be the situation. It's like I know a lot of married couples that people, they take care of each other and that kind of thing. But the ones where the one person take care of and that income is gone, most time those relationships are gone. So you gotta be careful how you build that foundation. You gotta make sure it's solid. That you talk about so many different things. You build a relationship. Don't build that man. So he comes to the table what he's supposed to have. You come to the table what you're supposed to have, and then you put your stuff together. You have a conversation. How we gonna do this? How we gonna handle finances? How we gonna handle children? If y'all at the age of having children, I'm done. You
Oh,
see,
no, I know you.
I got grandkids, so that's yeah. They. Mhm.
Child, that don't mean nothing.
Oh, yes, it does mean something. I'm not the one. I'm leaving that to y'all young folk. I'm done.
Mm,
But for me, ladies, consider that when you're trying to get into a relationship. Don't let these guys convince you. They can be the most handsome person, the finest thing with nothing below, or they can be the finest thing with something below. You won't find out unless they're in touch with God, because see, they got to get to your heart. And if they're doing what they're supposed to do, God's going to reveal their heart to you and vice versa. So they can't come with you, tell them God said you my husband, you my wife. He ain't told me that. You know what I'm saying? So you got to know who God is to you, and you got to have a relationship so you can hear from God and not be manipulated by these guys that come along that want you because they think X, Y, Z. And sometimes you don't have what they think you have, but you are a solid individual. You're solid in your relationship with the Lord. You're solid as a professional. You're solid as far as your personality, your character, your integrity. All those things are intact. So when you have that stuff together, you're the prize. I mean, you both. He'll be a prize of you. You'll be a prize of him. I'm not saying it like we the only one got everything going on.
Right. Absolutely.
So I'm just saying, take care of yourself, ladies. We got a lot. We bring a lot to the table, just like they're gonna bring a lot to the table. But you got to know what they bring by asking the right questions, and don't get caught up so quick. The moment you see this guy and he seems like potential, you start praying. You ain't got to tell him you praying. You ain't got to tell him. You start praying. God will tell you. God, move him out of the way if he's not the one. God, show me if his heart. He'll
And
start revealing all that.
God is a mover, okay? He know
Mm,
how to move people. If you're praying, he will give you the signs. Or in my instance, people just disappear. It's just like, what happened to that person? So God is a mover if you let him. If you let
right.
him guide you, he will move you and show things to you. But if you're desperate and you're lonely, then it's harder to hear. And then even when people move out, somehow you go and find them, and God's like, but I let them go. So yeah, no, God will definitely show you things. And I think that praying in the beginning is so critical because you want to pray before your emotions get involved too much.
Right.
Because then it's much harder when that happens. You want to pray, and so Lord, move them. Or if they're supposed to be a friend, don't let me put them in a category they don't belong in. Because it may not be that they should be completely out of your life, but they're not supposed to be in your life in that particular way, or maybe not even that time. So
Mm,
it's very important that we seek God in all things, even before you run into some people. We should be praying right now.
right. Right.
um,
And the prayer too should be for us to
right,
help us to do
exactly. Lord, help me now. Like, let me get right. Let me have the right spirit and going forth. That way, whenever the person, right or wrong, comes, you're already kind of in the right mindset. You've been praying, so your discernment is high.
it. Yes,
Perfect.
Lord.
And you can say, "Oh no, no, you're just a friend. No, no, you need to go away." Mm, I think you might do be that person. So
Right.
it
Right.
it don't depends. So being prayerful is what we can do. That way you don't end up building a bear, but you support a man.
Yes, because you
When
can't put nothing up here if he ain't got it here.
it's not there, you
Put
can't put it
nothing
there.
here if he ain't got it here. Those two things, main thing. The Bible talk about the heart and the mind, and when they talk about the heart, it's the mind, but they make reference to
And
that. And
yeah.
so I'm just saying those are the two things that you cannot build.
No. You can help support him as he works. He has to be the one working through things.
Right.
But that's why I said if he don't have it in him to do it, it don't matter what you do, how much money you pour into him, how many words of affirmation you give to him. If he is not there, if he's not in that mindset, or guys, if she's not in that mindset, then it's not gonna happen. The person has to already have in their mind somewhere that they're gonna make up and do what's right, and then you support them in that process. But you can't be the thing that causes them to make that click. That it has to be an internal thing. Like following God. No matter
Mhm.
what your mom say to you, your dad say to you growing up, you have to make the choice. At some point, it has to be something that you decide to do, and then your community is there to support you in that. But they can't make you choose to follow Christ. That's something you got to do.
And you meet a guy, and you know that old saying back to what you said earlier: if do right ain't in you, you ain't gonna do it.
If you write it in you, it's not coming out. Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
yes, child. So, but I thank you for your time, Miss Brooke. Anything you want to tell the audience about yourself? What what's
I mean,
going
you
on?
already told my business. I'm single, so holla at me.
Why everybody that come on here gonna either be single, and they're gonna be single and a Christian, whether it be male or female, it don't matter. But we ain't gonna discriminate based on that. But we don't want the married folks coming on because they got they boo and they got their
They got the
reasons.
other
They
platform.
can they got their license to hunch, so they can do all that. Don't tell us how we feeling, because it don't mean that you can't be right, but we ain't trying to hear that because most of the times I've seen a lot of them do try to tell you what's right. Most of them I know try to tell you what's right. But in the moment, we want other people that understands our plight. Because I don't know how long you've been together and what you had to go through and how you got that person. Because some of it wasn't right and some of it was right. But I could take their advice, individually. But on this platform, I just want the singles to talk about issues we deal with, things we go through, talking about meeting a guy, the potential, what are we willing to do or not do. You shouldn't be willing. You said it best about the support and being there for them, that kind of stuff that you can do. But things that should be done at our age, that should already be done,
And
except Go
And I
ahead.
think people sometimes will have there's that tension of knowing when am I supporting and when am I building a bear? Because it's like, well, shouldn't I be here helping? It's like, yes, but like if his credit score, I don't want to go credit score because I think that's also a perverse incentive for people to be in debt. So there's a whole problem. But if like he's not, um, if he doesn't have any goals, if he's not working towards anything, if he's very comfortable letting his mom pay for stuff all the time, and he not really, you know what I mean? That's different than someone who may have fallen on hard times and is rebuilding or something like
Right.
that. So you have to that again, the prayer and discernment. You have to be discerning of where is this person? Are they am I here to help them support them and then they support me too? But like are we here to support each other as we build and grow our in our dreams? Or are you just a slacker and you know
You
you want
ask the right questions.
that's true. Just straight up ask the question.
You have to ask. So, what are your 5-year goals? What are what do you play? Because if they're not at the job that they want to be in, but they've had previous jobs that showed that they were motivated and they had to deal with something because something happened, and you
Mhm.
start asking those questions, then you can see what kind of person that is, and don't just go by it. Just watch their actions. You'll
Right,
see.
right, right. And in the interim, again, the key is for us to be praying. We have to be prayerful.
Right.
Even before anybody's in the picture, just be prayerful. Like, okay, work on me, Lord, obviously, whatever is there. But then also give me a spirit of discernment. Pray for that now. Don't try to pray for it when you need it. when, when it's almost too
Your
late.
emotions involved, you
You
go whatever you praying for. Lord, is that my husband? And you already like him. He gonna say yeah, but it ain't gonna be him. He ain't gonna be God. But he
gonna hear yeah. Now, he ain't gonna say yeah. You gonna hear yeah.
God, because I did it. I wanted to hunch, so I did it, and that didn't work out. How you say? How they say? How that worked
But I
out?
heard that for you.
It did not.
He did.
So, but you know what? God allowed me to still be here to get it right. So,
Mhm.
going through a divorce, I've been divorced for many, many, many years now, and I've gotten a chance to become a whole individual. So when I see stuff, those flags start coming right away. I ain't got nothing to do with trying to build you. I'm just trying to do me, get me together. And when
Mhm.
you come along, Mister, I'm gonna
Yeah,
be all right. I'm gonna see you. I'm gonna
I'm
see you. I'm gonna see
gonna
right
see
through you.
you. I brought you because I've been praying.
The spirit of discernment is high.
It's high because I've
So
been
I'm
praying.
here to say,
Okay.
hey,
Mhm.
nope, keep it moving, keep it moving, cause bro, this ain't what you want.
Mm-mm. Not at
I'm a little touched, but I'm kind. I'm compassionate. I'm those fruits of the spirit, but I'm not.
but I ain't stupid.
Well, I ain't stupid. Yeah, I'm so. Mm-mm. No, I just look like this. So anyway,
Yeah,
that's pretty much it. If
yeah,
unless you got something else you want to add, I enjoyed the conversation, but I just
yeah,
want to keep it real on here. Have a conversation about life, what we go through, um,
yeah,
and
yeah.
if
I mean, it's a process.
mhm.
It's definitely a process, but it's one I would just say keep praying no matter what. If you see
And
some,
sometimes, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
if you don't have anybody, keep praying. If you have somebody, keep praying. If it's just a friend, keep always be prayerful because and even when you get the relationship, stay prayerful. Don't somehow think that I achieved this. Thank you, Lord. I don't need to. No, keep praying. Keep
No,
praying. Even especially when you're in a relationship, just keep praying because um,
absolutely.
we need God. At
All
all.
day, every day. All day, every day. We need God big
Yeah.
time, especially now the way things going with this dating and all this kind of stuff. Because our next guest, we're going to be talking about divorce, dating, and OnlyFans. That's quite interesting. I had never heard that.
I can't believe you haven't heard of OnlyFans.
I had, but not to that extent that it's kind of intertwined with your dating now. And so those are some of the things you have to
It
consider.
can be depending on who you
Well,
date.
yeah, I'm just saying, but it's just I didn't just I don't know. I don't know why I didn't think that way, but that's going to be our next guest.
Interesting. That's
Go,
gonna be very interesting because
yeah,
that does cause tension in some relationships.
yeah. So, but I thank you so much for your time. Super Bowl weekend, everybody going to their little parties and all.
Mhm.
I'll watch it and get my eat on. But until next time, my takeaway for this is don't build a bear,
Build a man. No, support a
Relationship.
man.
Don't build a bear, don't support a man, but support the word of God and what it says for your life and let God do the rest. That's my takeaway. Until next time, be blessed, family. And if you want to be a guest, please remember to email Tonja, Tonja, at reverse 180, that's the number 180 women.com. Again, Tonja at reverse180women.com. And you can be a guest if you're a Christian and you're single. All right, holla at you, girl. Until next time, thank you, Miss Brooke. Y'all, we're out. Peace.
Peace.